one another. Get a Be Better health plan from Beacon and get simple and affordable medical benefits so you can build a better team. Call 440-4447 or log on to beacon.co.tt for more information.
2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6.
Education multiplies their chances and places the world of opportunity in their hands. No matter where they are in the world, make sure they are prepared for their journey back to school with Western Union. School fees, books, room and board, whatever the reason. Knowledge, independence, opportunity. Western Union, moving money for better.
And we're back on the inside for another ladies' room, another Monday, another show. Good morning again, guys. Hope you all had a wonderful weekend. And looking forward to a better week. It was a good one on my side, and I trust it went well for you. Mary and Frederick, good morning. Christelle, good morning. Good morning, Queen B. Lex, good morning. Judy Ann, good morning. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Mondell. Good morning, Leno, Charmaine, Michelle, good morning. We can watch it. Goodbye. Good morning, Kareem. How are you?
Morning. Hey, good.
How was your weekend? I'm good as well.
It was good, man. Sort of restful a little bit, you know?
I touched on with
What you touched on with?
touch on with the jacket and tie for me this morning, yes. Don't make joke. I know what happened, you get kicked out, but anyway, come back. Where were we? Yeah, we were talking about the weekend. Didn't do anything? No gigs? No.
Actually, I didn't want to say anything about it. It was a kind of tough weekend, you know. We did aquarium yesterday with the band, and it was actually Jefferson's last performance with us for a while.
Oh.
He's traveling again,
You see, maybe.
but this time it's more of a long-term kind of travel.
Wow.
You know, so I don't know about the other guys, but for me, I mean, Jefferson and I started music together. We started the journey together, so it was tough for me. It was tough, you know.
Yeah, y'all be alright. You'll be alright. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Definitely.
Good morning, Mr. Skeet. How are you?
I am fine. Good morning. Are you hearing me?
You have a slight echo on your end. What you are playing by you? You have something loud in your back.
Playing by me.
Your TV not on?
Nah, I don't know TV plug. I don't know TV on.
I think that's better.
You look like you're going in Parliament,
Right.
so.
Hold on. Turn down. Is it better? Guys, tell me if it's better. Somebody want to know if you're getting married today. Me no go down here. I don't even want to feel I want to.
I am here today to represent the defendant.
You have to represent.
I appear on behalf of the defendant this morning. On
I was
behalf
in
of the
my
plaintiff, sorry.
business. I posted my scenario and I got a call saying,
I am
getting a
here
feedback
on
from
behalf of the plaintiff.
hold on, let me just check. Let me know, guys. Y'all getting a feedback?
I am here on behalf of the plaintiff.
Turn on your monitor or whatever. Oh, it's better. Okay.
Headphones. Right.
All right.
Think better. Right.
I find it.
All right, we better?
Find me a little
Okay.
bit.
Yeah, we better. Yeah, so I posted my scenario this morning and I got a call.
Don't go into no details. I'm here representing the plaintiff this morning.
I got a call that you'd like to be part of the conversation, and I'm like, all right, hey, it's a man thing, so y'all can handle it because the scenario today goes like this: I'm a single father with 2 girls. After their birth, their mother decided she wanted no part of parenting and left. However, after numerous attempts to get her to spend time with them, I decided to do it alone. She has a good job and also refuses to help with the basic necessities. She says that's my role as a good father. So he's got a couple questions. Question 1, he asks, what's your definition of a good father? Are we lacking in this department, or do you think more men are taking care of their responsibilities as fathers? And the question two, he says, should I take her to court for financial aid? Now, normally I come here and I run up my mouth and all, but this morning is one morning I ain't lying. If I want to go the other way, I'll be crucified, I'll be nailed to the cross. They'll take me down and nail me again, take me down and nail me again until they're satisfied.
Go
So
still, just for the fun of it.
there's no way, nah. I'm not.
Just for the fun
Nah,
of it.
y'all take pleasure in hanging me for no reason. I'm not gonna put myself out there. No. So for the past couple of weeks we come here and there's been numerous scenarios of people sending in stuff regarding men and being. I think we did one about fathers not so long ago, right? About deadbeat fathers and not taking their responsibility. And it never occurred to me that, there are actually men who are doing it alone. I mean, it was at the back of my mind, but that wasn't the topic. But anyways, there are actually men who do it alone, who take care of their children. How, as a mother, you want no parts, absolutely nothing to do with. Anyway,
Jason, age before handsome.
how do you not want to be part of your children's
Gary,
life?
let me bring something. No, I have to remember this morning I'm in court mood, so my words has to be carefully chosen. Mr. Kareem, please allow me to bring something to your remembrance.
Proceed.
When it comes to the average woman, age in most cases is synonymous with experience. And when you have what you may refer to as a lack of handsometivity, it is amazing how money changes that appearance. You see, a man could be the ugliest man in the world, but anytime he starts to bring home 5 and 6 figures to a woman, there's nothing more handsome. Having said that, I will give you the opportunity to rephrase your statement, or if you want to continue holding on to it, by all means do so.
You may proceed, sir.
Right. Now, you see, I come here and I defend the male species, but it is also my responsibility to educate my young lads. And I hope this morning that this young lad here has been educated on that particular subject matter.
Confirmed.
Right. Now, my lord, I am here representing the plaintiff this morning. And the evidence before us this morning is very clear. This man has been nothing short of an upstanding and model citizen. And having 2 children that you're taking care of is a task as a man.
You behave like Cloud boy.
But what makes it even more difficult, it is the fact that we're talking about 2 young girls here. And that in itself is another mammoth task. I say all of that to say that the plaintiff will proceed with full legal actions for all costs implicated as it relates to raising these girls, and that the defendant should pay whatever the court decides is her fair share and fair portion of that judgment.
Like Cloud, son.
He has to take her to court. He should take her to court. He has a valid and valuable and powerful case. And I do not see any magistrate, any judge, or any jury of his peers. Because when you go to court, it is a jury of your peers. And I do not see any jury of his peers going contrary to what his position is. I know it's a laughing matter for you, you're giggling. But it's serious. Because you see, no, this is serious matter. That is why I've come serious this morning. This is serious matter. No, this is serious matter. This is not no jokey thing. You see, to you it might be a jokey bacchanal thing.
It's the way you present it makes it hilarious. But the question, it's a valid question. And a lot of the times, like I said, we come down on men for being deadbeats, but not realizing they are also deadbeat mothers. And the way women drag men need to do the same when they are women who are not part of their children's life, not contributing in any way, not playing your role, not being, like we like to talk about, good father and not being a good mother. Then more men need to speak up. And that has always been the problem. Y'all don't say anything. You take your death like sheep. You don't say anything. You take your suffering. You take your frustration. You hold everything, and then you explode. If you are in a situation as a man, and I'm sure there are men out there who are in the situation this morning, if you find yourself in this situation, you need to speak up as well and do the same thing women would do if the shoe was on the other foot. Take you to court, make sure that you did your part, make sure that you are a good mother the way you want the men to be a good father. So I'm not going to be a hypocrite and just, okay, because I want to rile you all up, just, go roaring for that. I'm not going to do it. Because the same way, let us say the same stick that beat the black dog should be the white one too. Right. So we're using the same stick this morning. Kareem, you wanted to say something? Do yourself that do like just the man me in a time gone now.
Well, clearly we have all the time in the world we going.
Forget him.
I mean, I concur. All right.
Where you get his big toy?
You don't know air condition in the courthouse.
Telling people in the courthouse.
No, but I mean, on a serious note, it is easy to bash men for these things, not being a good father, this, that, And like you said, we had a conversation about it just a couple of weeks ago, but it just goes to show you that it's not a man thing, it's a human thing. And I'm hoping I could get this program today to take out certain clips to use back at my convenience. Right? It's not a man thing, Miss Neptune. It is human. Right? So, honestly, as the plaintiff's counsel rightly put it, we shall not take matters into our own hands. He should go to court. All right? He should let the law take its course. And, I mean, you need support. You cannot make a child together and then she's saying, you're done. It's your responsibility as a good father. Now, question for you, Arun. I wanted to ask this at the start, but I'll ask it now. As a woman, what do you guys take the term good father to mean?
I know children, so I can answer that question.
But from your
You have
perspective,
to ask the audience. I would think somebody who is not just there to provide financially, but also to be a part of the child's life, take them out, spend time with them, show interest, invest in them, not just, oh, hey, look, some money to buy some milk or
Right.
some diapers or whatever the case might be. But, you're there, you're at the PTAs, you're in the after school programs, you're there, and, you're there supporting them, helping with their schoolwork, providing that sort of support, not just financially, but providing a support. To me, that's what a good father is. Not just, okay, the court say I have to pay $50 every month,
So let me
so let
just
me
do
drop
that.
the $50 by them and I'm done. No. Most times, a lot of parents don't realize quality time spent is worth more than material stuff. You can't put a figure on time spent grooming a child, showing them the way to go, especially boys, spending time kicking ball with them, playing basketball with them. That one-on-one touch, you can't put a figure on that. And to me, that is what's lacking. You don't just wait and on Sunday, you will see a lot of pictures of children going up. You never thought these men had children. And the same happens on Mother's Day. You never thought they had, So you don't just wait for an opportunity or just to take a photo to put up to get likes, but you're actually present. Because, as a matter of fact, just last Father's Day, I had to tell a mother that called me, asked me what she thinks she could do. She should drag him. I'm like, no, it's still his child, whether he's present or not all the time. Who knows what you're doing to contribute to him not being there? Because if you wanted to look at it, a lot of men do want to be part of their children's lives, but the baby mothers make it really difficult. I'm not saying that happens all of the time, but a lot of the time, they make it difficult for them to be part of their figure. Okay, we're no longer together. I don't want my child with you. I don't want no next woman touching my child. The other, and the child suffers. So maturity has a lot to play.
To do it.
And yes, you might be having sex with somebody, but not everybody supposed to be or you're supposed to have a child for. They're not ready for that stage yet.
Mhm.
So, Mr. Skeet?
Circumstances changes realities and perspectives. Understand me clearly now. And I say that to make the point when you refer to what is a good father. Understand me. Circumstances changes realities and perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
If a young man grows up in an environment where he is physically abused, struggles to go to school, no shoes on his feet, struggling to make two ends meet, having a job that pays him nothing short of maybe 10, somebody in my office, somebody just came to my office, having a job that pays him, basic minimum wage, and has a child, impregnates a woman, has a child, but still is able to provide food, clothing, and shelter. If that alone he can provide, based on the circumstances, he's a great father. Now listen to this. If a young man grows up with all the flaws and the amenities of life afforded to him, with a wealthy family, but only provides basic food, clothing, and shelter, he is not considered to be a good father, because you see, the circumstances are different. And you should be able to provide for your children based on your circumstances, how you were brought up, and what is expected of you given your circumstances. So understand me clearly. So there's no set barometer to describe what is a good father.
Mm-hmm.
Good father is someone who uses his circumstances, doesn't allow it to identify who he is, but still is able to give more.
So if he can't give money, he can give time.
Precisely. Right? So he may not be able to give $500 towards the child's development every month, but the mere fact that he has been able to provide $50, by the mere fact that he has nothing, and still be there and be known as daddy, that makes him a good father. Because the circumstances, understand me clearly, the circumstances brings a different perspective.
Someone says there's
I
a lot.
always tell my
Stick up in, Jason. Someone says there's a large percentage of men who are handling all of their responsibilities alone, but society only points out men infractions.
and that is true, because you see, we live in a society where women are glorified as mothers, but men are told, you're going to be a father, you have to be a father, you have to provide, and that is it. I mean, just look at how we celebrate Mother's Day and compare to how we celebrate Father's Day.
Well, that was socks and some tools.
I have no difficulty, I have no qualms, I have no issue with women being celebrated, especially on Mother's Day. But I believe that with mathematical exactitude, men have to be afforded that same luxury.
What you have there?
Now, for those of you who don't know, I have 9 dogs, and my dogs are Rottweilers mixed with black-mouth cur. So they're very vicious.
I have another, and I'm seeing another interesting comment here. Someone says, everyone says a child needs their dad, but no, it's not that easily put. A child needs a safe dad, a providing dad, a consistent dad, a dad that understands his family is more important than immature selfishness. It is important for a mother to save her child from any harm or toxic people. And yes, that even includes family members and parents. And shame on anyone that puts a child well being to the side for their personal feel good moments.
Mhm.
What are you saying, Kareem?
Well, for me, and I mean, it's kind of home for me. Not going into the details or anything,
Mhm.
but it's kind of home for me. Especially when you have a boy child, right? A father figure is very important in the home, because sometimes you could be the most ambitious person, mommy helping you to get your good grades in school and so on, but in terms of that guidance in life, and I'm talking simple things like reasoning skills, negotiation skills, decision making skills and so on. These things you don't get them in school. Mommy is taking care of everything else, so sometimes she doesn't have that quality time that you need to really bring you up in the way that you're supposed to be. So then you get to the teenagers. Sometimes you follow friends or you fall by the wayside or so, because it's like you're searching. You're searching for a path for you to take, right? You know right from wrong, yes, but you're still searching because there is a void that you're trying to fill. And then you get to adulthood, you start making bad decisions, loans, borrowing money. Sometimes you want to start a business, you don't know where to start, you don't know how. You're just searching. Everything is just Vicky all over the place because you don't have that proper guidance. And I wouldn't like to tell you, like, as a when you get to that point, you become bitter. I must say, right? You become bitter because, especially when you're seeing your friends and people you grew up with and all of that, they have their mom, their dad, even though mommy is in wherever and daddy is in wherever, they're still taken care of, not just financially, but you could call them, talk to them, say, I'm dealing with this, what to do, think. You know what I mean? They still provide that guidance. So when you don't get that, you grow up sort of bitter. You grow up with these ways, as I call it, and then people see you and they don't understand. You won't go on the street and telling everybody your business, right? But people would see how you're just Vicky jumping from place to place because you're searching.
Searching for acceptance.
That's what
and
it is. You're
belonging.
searching. There's a void that you need to fill. And while you're searching and things are just not working out, is the more you're bitter. It's not that you're blaming them, but it's just asking yourself, why could you not have been there? You feel punished because, like, I didn't ask to be here. I didn't do anything. I'm here now trying to make a life for myself. And you won't even be present as the one who is responsible for bringing me here, So, and then sometimes it could be so bad, Aruna, that it might get to the point, and people need to understand this, especially when you're getting into relationships and so on like that. If you're not accustomed with love, you can't love yourself because you don't have that family loving you and so on. How are you going to go into a relationship and love somebody else? How could that bitterness that you grew up with not be transferred to the other person? There's a lot of things to take into consideration.
Yeah.
So I mean, parents really, especially young people, I mean, you guys need to be careful. You can't have there's a lot of bitter humans walking
people
around, and it
celebrate
stems from
children,
there.
but they don't understand the responsibility that comes with it. It's nice, but oh, she's cute.
Yeah.
So cute, and
But
what have you.
they
But
don't even
it's a
understand.
responsibility that comes with it. It's not just to put up pictures or to dress up, and think that's it.
Yeah.
There's more to it, way more to it. Mr. Skeet?
I am present. Let me get a little bit personal here, and I don't normally do this, but this subject is a subject that is very dear to me. And let me get very personal here. You see, when I speak on this program and we talk, is a lot of fun and cool talk and thing and whatnot. But allow me to get a little bit personal here. You see, somebody told me about 2 weeks ago, a young lady actually, whom I was doing some work with, looked at me and said to me, I see why now you're so love upon your children. We were having a conversation about my upbringing. And she says to me, I see why now you just love upon your children. I said, what you mean? She said, because I just watch you when you're dropping off your children to school or if you and your family somewhere and thing. And
Mhm.
I just always say to myself, but look how this man just loving up on his children. Let me tell you something. My first son is 23 years old. And he's still a 23-year-old baby to me. No, I treat him as a young man, right?
Mhm.
He's a little bit taller than I am, well built, handsome chap. But I made a promise to myself that my upbringing, the absence of my parents during my upbringing, will never be something that any of my children will have to deal with, save and except God is ready for me and He takes me out.
Mhm.
Because even though my parents, my biological parents, were absent in my upbringing, and that's a different story, I was privileged to have nothing less, sorry, than about 7 mothers and about 8 or 10 fathers, because I
Mhm.
had aunts and uncles
Mhm.
who, I mean, I never felt as if I was never
Loved or
somebody's
anything.
child. I never had that. I don't know what that feels like,
Mhm.
because somebody always, hey, Jason, that kind of thing. Yes, if I should say so myself, I was always the helpful guy, so somebody want around the house, cutlass, and this. A lot of people see me in shirt and tie these days walking the road and they don't understand the amount of yard I cutlass and thing. And them days, you didn't know weedy tie. I know what it is like. But the point I'm making is I never felt that way. And so I made a promise to myself a lot of years ago, more than even before I started having children. I made a promise to myself as a young man growing up that I
Mhm.
will never allow my children to not understand what true love is from daddy. And that continues to happen. And I always tell people, and I want all the young men outside there to hear this. I always tell people the easiest thing for a woman to say, whether it is true or not, the easiest thing for a woman to say is that you don't mind your child. The minute
Mhm.
time you and she have an argument, or you all have a fallout, or you all have a disagreement, whether it is true or not, the easiest thing for a woman to say is, he don't mind the children. And I promise myself that no woman would get the opportunity to say that
Okay.
as it relates to me, Jason
Whether,
Nicholas Alfonso Hezekiah Alberto Ignatius.
whether
They
in a
will
relationship with
never
them
get
or
the
not,
opportunity,
whether you're
whether
together or
I'm in a
not.
relationship with them or not. And so far, knock on wood, it has held true to form. And I'm saying this to say that men, there must be, you see, we leave men hanging. Society has left men hanging. Society looks after women. Society teaches women how to grow up and be mothers. Society teaches women how to grow up and be young ladies. But we expect men to toughen up and deal with it. And I'm saying that part of that is true. Part of that is true. Women are more emotional creatures, so we have to teach them how to do that. But make no mistake about it,
What about the men?
there must be some avenue so that men can learn how to be good fathers, good human beings. Because the problem with the
How
world,
do
and I
you
tell
learn
you
to
this,
be
the
a good
problem is
father
the
when
world.
you
Shanton,
never had
the,
nobody to show you?
the
You've
problem,
never had any
yeah,
example.
the problem with the world is not politicians. The problem with the world is not war. The problem with the world is we need better men. And if we find ourselves in this world having better men, we will have a better world.
But you made
But
a very good
somebody
point,
has to bring us to
Jason.
that point.
You made a very good point in that of, and I always say that, where you came from shouldn't be where you're going. It shouldn't be your final destination. Shouldn't be because of where because you grew up like that. So I'm gonna die like that. And you made a really good point, and that is something I say to people all the time. Experience is the greatest teacher. And a lot of the times I'm like, okay, why can't we look at it like as the way you took it? Okay, parents were not there. So I'm not going to do that to my child or children because I know what that felt like. I experienced it firsthand. Nobody told me what it feels like to have an absent father or mother. You went through it yourself, right? You grew up in a single parent of, and no, I'm talking to men who grew up with single parents. You grew up with your mother alone. Father wasn't present. To me, that should strike a chord. That should be like, okay, you know what? I saw my mother struggling with me alone. I know how hard that was. She had to hold
You
on
know,
2, 3, 4, 5 jobs to
Aruna,
send me to school to do this, do that. So you know what? I'm not gonna do that to this
permit me to
woman
pause
that
you
had
here.
this child for me. I'm gonna be
Permit me to
present.
just permit me to just pause you here for a minute because something just came to my remembrance. And please don't and I want to tell the viewers, don't, because this is still me being personal about it. I won't tell you when I stop being personal.
Mhm.
Um, you see, one of the things that continue to bring me along this path is that as soon as I saw my father for the first time when I was 18 years old, and it wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault. It had nothing to do with my father, you know.
Mhm.
But the point I'm making is when I finally got to start spending time with my father and knowing my father and learning my father and being physically there next to my father, I was in my 30s. And about 3 years after that process started, I got a phone call one morning. I was reading news. I was working at 96.1 and 107.7 FM in Trinidad and Tobago. And I was reading news one morning, a Saturday morning. And as soon as I hung up the phone, me and my dad, we always, no matter if we don't speak during the day for 3 years or we don't speak during the week, on Saturday mornings, we made a promise to each other that we would call each other every Saturday morning. And when I was finished reading the 7 o'clock news that Saturday morning, I saw my phone ringing and I saw the name Michael Skeet coming up. And I answered my phone saying, hey, boy, how you know I just going and call you? What going on? And I heard a voice on the other line saying, Jason, you need to come up home. We just found your father lying in his bed, dead.
Oh wow.
And that made me even more cognizant of the fact that every moment I spend with my children is my last.
Mhm.
So when I see women who is supposed to have that kind of emotion, neglecting it because you bore this baby for 9 months. You bore this child for 9 months. A woman is closest to death when she's about to give birth. And if you bring yourself so close to death in the process of giving life and is able to walk away from it, then I have no choice but to bring the fullest extent of the law down on you. Because I understand. I live that, right? I live that. So let me just say that and get that out of the way. So now I am not going to be personal anymore. I've put aside that personal side. So let's get back to because when I
An
talk about these
emotional
things,
morning,
after all
I'd
these years
say.
of my dad not being here, I still tear up because of it. So I'm not going to go down that road anymore. But yes, so I'm not being personal anymore.
I'm seeing a really, really good. I'm seeing some fantastic comments this morning. Yeah, it's an emotional morning, I swear. And someone is saying to me, and some man, he's in tears this morning listening to this because it brings back a lot of traumatic memories of his absent father. Someone says, I must agree with Mr. Jason. It has a lot to do with upbringing circumstances. There are men who can provide and there are others who can't, but their upbringing had afforded them keep moving so fast. Hold on. Yeah, they are bringing afforded them characteristics for raising children. Others because there was a lack of parental guidance and love in the home that affects a lot of men's ability to not only lack the ability to show love but to guide their children. The problem is not many understand how not the carry that hurt into their current life as a parent. Oh, wow, it's a long one. I'm trying to.
It is a serious matter, and I know of a case here
The
in
current
Grenada
life as
actually,
parents.
where
Mhm.
a man took a woman to court and won. Where a man took a woman to court for child support and won, um, because I mean it was. I mean, all the circumstances were there before, and men are going to be looked at as being weak and childish and petty if they do something like
Because
this. But the fact
because
of
you're
the matter
supposed to
is,
take it out. It's
what
no,
good
it's
for
not
the
fair.
goose, good for the gander.
Exactly. You have to hold each other to the
You know.
same
So
standards. You can't be saying,
I
okay,
believe
men have
that
to
the
do
young man
this.
has a valid case in point here, and even if it is to send a message,
But the point as well, Jason, is she says she has a good job,
somebody
but
has to be made
also
an example.
refuses to help with basic necessities. And she says that's my role as a good father. I will take her to court. She not to say she's not working unemployed, seeking a hand up. No, she has a good job and also refuses to help with the basic. And I'm guessing basic is food, probably the basic necessities. She says that's my role as a good father. So what is your role as a mother? You had them and that's it, the end. Goodbye. Or was it a case of you were never prepared, you
And
never wanted
you
it,
know something, Aruna.
and you just
Let me
had it?
jump here again. You know
So
something. Here's what I find. Right. This is what I believe. This is what I believe. Right. I believe that the judicial system is creating a bigger problem. Our judicial system is creating a bigger problem, and I'll tell you why. People are not made to pay according to what they earn. People are not made. This is too standard. There's nothing standard. There should be nothing standard about this. There should be nothing standard about a man or woman having to go to court and have to pay $50 or $30 a month because that is what the law says. And I don't know if it is written, but I know that seems to be the consistent of the consistent area, ballpark figure in which compensation is afforded. And I am saying that compensation must be in
refuse the
tandem
American
with
system the
your
way they do it.
earning or your ability to earn. Because how can you feel comfortable, man or woman, knowing that you're working for $10,000 a month? You have two children that you're mining, but the court
$100.
gives you a break. The system gives you a break where you only have to pay $50 or $100 a month for the two of them. That
And
is
there's
ludicrous.
some still aren't paying it. There's arrears, there's a backlog of payments for months. Because to me, when you get to that
Well, let me
point of
tell you
court
why they
and
ain't
you're
paying it.
ordered,
Let me tell you
and,
why
and
they ain't paying it.
and the order has been given, then it should not. You working somewhere the same way NIS is deducted from your pay, like in the US, they deduct that from your pay. It's no longer
Let me
if
tell you
you
why
are
they ain't paying it,
you
Aruna.
leaving it up to you to go to the court to pay it. Because even though the
Let me,
court mandates you
let me
have to
tell
pay
you
it,
why
they
they ain't
don't.
paying it.
They don't.
Let me tell you why they ain't paying it. They're not paying it for the simple reason that I just forget to pay my Nawasa bill. Let me tell you why I just forget to pay my Nawasa bill. Because my Nawasa bill is a 40 or 50, sometimes no more than $60 a month. And
So it's not a
generally I
big deal.
forget to pay it.
So it's not because
It's
it's not
no
a big
big deal. But if my Nawasa bill start to reach like the Grand Lake bill, I'm gonna remember to pay it. So the problem is if
I think payment should be based
we
on how much your allowance. You bring
make
in your
the
responsible your bills.
compensation based on the circumstances, yes, then they will remember to pay it. Because I just go and pay Nawasa sometime. When I do, so I reach Nawasa, I say, you see me, the bill this month is $50. Me coming back in next month to pay $50. Look, all $150 and put it on my account. The fact of the matter is, the next time when my bill gets to the point where it is overdue, my phone does ring. Hello, good morning, Mr. Skeet. We're calling from Nawasa just to remind you that your account is over. Really? I didn't pay all the just the other day? No, Mr. Skeet. The last time you paid was 4 months ago, and you had some money inside. The point I'm making is, it has to be that portion of it has to be according to the circumstances, your earnings and or your ability to earn. And the system is failing us.
Can't
Pray
believe
for me
y'all.
not to get involved in politics, because when I get involved in politics, I become prime minister for one day. Let me tell all you something. I get involved in politics and I become prime minister for one day. A lot of things changing in this place. This
Let's
is a
see.
notification to all political parties outside. Feel free to
Today.
contact me, you know. I go run in any constituency. I go run in St. George Northwest and all. You understand? I run in any constituency. And if you see I win and the party win, a lot of things will change in this country, you know.
All right. We're in
A lot of
campaigning
things
here.
have
Good
to
time for
change.
campaigning. We'll come back and campaign. But all for now, it's time for us to go. But before we go, someone says to add to the point of circumstances, I believe in truth. And in fact, it has to be on the individual. Because like Jason said, if you live your life the same way you were brought up, you will pass it on to your children. And the cycle will continue, just like young girls still having children for more than one father. And that's the way they grew up as well. All right. So I think that's about it.
I will implement something
Naturally
called
wants to
vaginarial taxation.
take.
You understand? I will implement something called vaginarial taxation.
Jason, thank you.
You figure out what that is, and I will also implement something called what's a
You'll
nice
tell us
way to
when,
put it, boy?
you'll tell us when you come back next time. Think about it.
Constitutional taxation. Anyhow,
Write down
but
the
go
things
ahead.
you're gonna change when you're ready to start
Yeah,
campaign. All right. Thank you very
yeah.
much. Yeah. So we this is the first time we're on a topic that
Judgment
we
for the
agree
plaintiff.
on.
No. Judgment for the plaintiff. I want to find out before I go. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. A
Full
judgment.
compensation.
Yeah. Full compensation. All right. To be paid forthwith. Alrighty, guys. Thank you so very much, everyone. Wow, seeing so many comments, I definitely have to go back and look at them and read them again because a lot that I missed, but were really good in the conversation. So you can join us again tomorrow, same time, same place. Again, thank you, Jason. Thank you, Kareem. Catch us again tomorrow for another one right here on Power 95. Alrighty, have a good one, y'all.